So hello and welcome to our 2021 AGM. Thank you for joining us today. It's lovely to see all of the executive team here today. Before we get cracking, I'd just like to extend a very warm welcome to our new chair, Susan Rodriguez, who replaced Nicola Griffiths at the start of the year. Hi, Susan. And also to Claire. Welcome to Claire, our new head of membership, who took over from Anne just at the start of May. So welcome to both of you. So since our last AGM, obviously 12 months ago, the world has been changing very, very rapidly, and there's lots of things that have been going on. COVID-19 has created numerous challenges for everybody. And for the association, we've had to adapt and diversify a lot of our plans, but I'm pleased to say we've still made some excellent progress over the last 12 months. One of the things that has been really beneficial, I think, over the past year and has really shown itself perhaps more than ever is the sense of community that we have within the association. Our brilliant members all interacting with each other lovely on the Facebook group, and just people keeping in touch, checking in with our therapists, people supporting each other, if it's practicing doing online therapy sessions or just meeting up for virtual coffee with one another has been a real privilege to see, and I'm very proud to be part of such an inclusive and supportive organisation. So the idea for today is we're going to cover some of the various aspects that have been going on over the past 12 months. So to get us started, I'm going to hand over to Sasha to talk about the finance over the past year. Over to you, Sasha.
Thank you very much, Helen. Good morning to everyone. So from the finance report, essentially the financial year for us runs from the 1st of November. In this particular year, we're discussing 1st of November 2019 to the 31st of October 2020. We saw an increase in membership fees, but we also increased our expenditure over the course of that year. That said, we still maintained a financial position that was stable. Our increase in expenditure was partly due to an increase in consultancy fees for the members here present, after the trustees had a look and reviewed and the increase in workload that everybody was doing now compared to in the past. So that took place. Also, we spent a little bit more money towards website marketing. There was also a further increase in expenditure on PayPal for commission, because now almost all members will now pay, and it was a transition the previous financial year. So we've now seen that as a full year because everyone pays and renews, the vast majority do. There was also an expenditure increase on printing, not just because we had our usual Hypnotherapy Today journals, but also we produced extra materials for the members event, which took place in November 2019. And because of COVID, as Helen said, that led to a huge increase in online meetings. That said, we did actually still have our away day in March and the event in November 19, which falls in this financial year we're talking about. And those obviously added increased travel expenses. But since April 2020, all our meetings have been online. There's none of that further. And then that leaves us with the last remaining significant cost for the year, which was the event that we hosted. And it was split over 2 financial years because the previous financial year covered a lot of the advance purchases we had to do for merchandise and things that went in the goodie bags. But in the financial year we're discussing now, 2019 to 2020, that's when we paid the hotel. That's when we paid for the actual event itself and the extra bits and pieces that went on in terms of our expenditure at the venue. The good news is, despite the increase in expenditure, the position for the association still remains financially secure and stable. We've effectively kept in line our expenditure versus the rise in income that we've had from the increased membership, plus the money that we earned from the event tickets that we sold, which contributed obviously to the event as well, so that offset. In the report that you've been sent in advance, it talks about the draft accounts being finalised to be filed. They have now been finalised. So I can confirm that there was a surplus for the financial year of £4,452. So that left us in good stead for the further expenditure. We plan to make investments in our for our members in the years to come. So that's all good, and should be with Companies House this week that's coming. So that's all in hand. For myself personally, most of my activities were the general accounting for the association, managing the PayPal account as well, because that's become more of a more involved, and also supporting the head of membership with, we had an increase in membership refunds, which was due in part to the effect of the COVID pandemic, where people were stopping practicing and deciding not to continue their membership. And also, we had quite a lot to do with the standing orders for the Microsoft 365 payments, and just the usual day-to-day filing things with Companies House, keeping things updated with change of personnel as well, and making sure that the filing stays accurate and up to date. And as always, other non-financial duties that I take care of, such as doing the minutes for the meetings, agendas, that kind of thing as well, and other bits and pieces along the way. So for the rest of the financial year we're currently in, which is 2020-2021, I'm just going to continue monitoring the budgets as we look to spending more with our SEO provision and the website investment, and looking forward to being sort of a part of that as well in terms of the work that we do as a team all together. So my job becomes a little bit more diverse and varied too, which is nice. And yeah, just looking forward to how things are going to look this year and next year as well, as we continue to grow and stay in that financially stable position.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Sasha. Everything is shipshape, as they say, and as you say, we're going to be investing a lot of our funds into just continuing our growth, which is going to be really, really exciting over the next 12 months. Okay, thank you. So we'll now move on to talk about some of the IT things that have been going on over the past year. So I'll hand over to you, Trevor.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I look after social media, IT, well, anything that's sort of IT related, really. So a little bit of the website, social media, like I say. So what can I say? Currently, the AfSFH website is being hosted by Wild Apricot, and they specialise in sort of membership sites for clubs and other organisations. Members of the public can find out about solution-focused hypnotherapy, and using the built-in search facility, find a solution-focused hypnotherapist near them. Members of the AfSFH can log in and access lots more information that's relevant to them. There's also a public-facing blog page, which is updated monthly with blogs supplied by AfSFH members. Now, working with the AfSFH Head of Marketing, Andrew Major, and an external company, we're developing a fresh-looking website that will make the member experience so much better. And we're making it much easier for people to find out about solution-focused hypnotherapy and the work we do. So that's going to be a new look website, a new look interface, and we're also looking at some brilliant search engine optimization, which makes us much easier to be found. Internally, we've been using Microsoft 365 for a little while now, and that all seems to be going well. The whole point behind Microsoft 365 is that it's ideal for people who don't actually work in the same office, which obviously in 2020, 2021 seems to be most of the world, but we're using it pretty well to communicate efficiently and effectively. There's things like the chat facility, which I noticed some people were using first thing this morning, even before this meeting started. So yeah, it is very useful. For things you need to say that aren't quite worth an email, you can do it on the chat, and that's sort of all part of it. And we've also got SharePoint, which is excellent for storing files, because it means there only needs to be one copy of a file and we can all use it. Yeah, and so brilliant during the COVID crisis. In terms of social media, we've got an AfSFH Facebook page, which is public facing, and that can be found from Google. We've also got the very popular closed Facebook group, which is exclusively for AfSFH members. So they must be ASFH qualified or students in their 8th month of training or later. In addition, we've got an AfSFH Twitter account, That's at AfSFH, and we've also got an AfSFH Instagram account, AfSFH Official. And yes, hopefully lots of people will be following us on that. So I collected these statistics on the 8th of April. The public AfSFH Facebook page has 1,517 followers. The closed AfSFH Facebook group has 386 members. But of course that number does go up as new people are being trained and join, and goes down as sort of some people leave. The Twitter account has got 812 followers, and our Instagram account had 211 followers. Yeah, AfSFH regularly posts news in the public Facebook page, and this gets plenty of shares and comments. Yeah, people repost our stories. We've got a LinkedIn page for the AfSFH. The stories get posted on that, and we've got quite a few followers on that as well. At the end of 2020, we ran a countdown calendar looking forward to 2021, where we posted a variety of positive and affirming quotes as we said goodbye to 2020 and all that happened in that year. That was very well received by our members, and we were pleased to have provided some positive posts for members after a very challenging year. As head of IT and social media, I also put monthly newsletters to be sent out. Any other announcements or surveys, that's done by me. And we've got templates set up, so as far as the members are concerned, it all looks very similar, same look and feel. There's a supervisors newsletter, there's also the supervisors networking group, and digital copies of Hypnotherapy Today. I also put those on the website for people to download. So looking forward, then we expect the new website and new facilities to be well received by members. We've got a dedicated company working on SEO, and so we anticipate a much higher public profile for the AfSFH and a much better ranking on Google. We'll continue to post regularly on the closed Facebook group and on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Google Business as well. And we also hope to support our members with any IT issues as the COVID-19 restrictions ease and the rebuilding process follows.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much, Trevor. Yeah, I mean, I could never have anticipated how much IT was going to feature in our lives over the last year. It's literally been a lifeline for so many people, and by extension, so many clients as well. So yeah, it's been a really major focus, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the website development project with Andrew in just a moment. So we now move on to the journal and general communications, which kind of falls on me. So we've produced, again, our same number of Hypnotherapy Today journals over the past year. Right at the start of spring last year, obviously we couldn't produce a hard copy, so we only were able to produce it as a digital version because of the COVID-19 restrictions. But since then, we've gone on to produce some really lovely, interesting articles over our several journal editions that we've published. We've had lots of great feedback from people. They really enjoyed the journal, lots of interesting articles. And the themes have also evolved quite nicely over the course of the pandemic. We started off talking about calmness in such a turbulent time, right the way moving through to how we can all develop our resilience in these challenging times, and even through to sort of more current things, such as working with people who might have a fear of needles, as the vaccine rollout has also been taking off. So we've had, as I say, some very, very positive feedback. It's been fantastic to include a wide range of member articles in our editions, including several supervisors who've been able to sort of write a little bit more about themselves so that other members can get to know them. So that's been really fantastic. At the last AGM, I said that I was hoping that we would find a company to take on the huge commitment of producing, printing, packaging and posting out our journals. and I'm pleased to say that at the end of last year we did manage to get on board with a company who have been fantastic in producing our journal. They've been doing everything from printing to packaging, postage, all of that. And this has vastly reduced the workload for the editor, because previously I would have done every single journal copy printed, posted, packaged and sent off by hand, which was rather a lot of work. So we're very pleased at moving forward with this company, especially as our membership numbers continue to increase. It's going to be really efficient for us. So that's been a real joy over the past year. Other communication things, well, as Trevor said, we've been producing our regular newsletters for members and also for our supervisors. But also over the last year, we have done an awful lot of work on communications around COVID-19 to all of our members. Regular member announcements every time there's been changes to the government guidelines, which has been quite frequent, to be fair, over the past year. And we've tried our very best to keep up-to-date information sent out to our members, especially because some of those guidelines and restrictions have changed depending on whereabouts in the UK that you are. In addition to that, early last year, we also set up our COVID-19 resources page, which is an extremely comprehensive resource. And we did that on the basis that the guidelines coming from other organisations that deal with talking therapies was a bit light on the ground. So that involved us doing a lot of work, reading hundreds of pages of government documents, which haven't been the most stimulating things to be reading, but certainly we wanted to try and summarise and get the most important details out there for our members, so that they can protect themselves, their families, and of course their clients. And that has been a very, very big part of the communications that we've done over the past year. Now, moving forwards, starting from next month, I'm going to be very, very pleased to recruit a new member to the executive team, and this person will take on the role of Head of Communications. That role will ensure that somebody else starts taking on the journal, which will free up some of my time. So they'll be responsible for production and compilation of the journal, but also that role will see somebody have a more specific remit on broadening our communications, whether that's writing content for the website, doing regular updates, all kinds of different things, but also in anticipation of us being able to liaise further with other organisations as well. So that's going to be a very, very diverse role, very exciting role, and I'll look forward to going out to the membership to find just the right person to take that on. So that's a big thing that's going to be happening in the coming year. So that's it from the communications side of things. So I'd now like to hand over to Claire to talk us through the membership kind of information over the past 12 months.
Thank you, Helen. As mentioned, I took over the role just last month from Anne. I'm so very excited for the year to come. But looking back over the last year, so despite COVID and all the challenges that has brought to everybody, the membership numbers have continued to grow. And as at 6th of April, there were 757 active members. Work on more automated processes has helped to free up admin time, and that is great because as the membership continues to grow, it means that obviously there's more time to deal with specific bespoke queries and to support the members in a better way. Some of those changes meant that there's been changes to payment protocols, so the payment system at the start of the year caused a few glitches, and also having to move PayPal service onto PayPal checkout also resulted in a number of duplicate payments being taken for some members and some payments being missed as well. So all of those sort of technical glitches have all been resolved now, and any members who sort of have been inconvenienced have all been rectified. So thank you for the patience for anyone involved in that going forward, but now hopefully should be plain sailing going forwards. And then for the rest of this year coming up then, so priorities really for membership is continuing to help to grow the membership numbers, but to support the members in a better way, and also to I guess, provide the value for the members as well. So promoting the membership benefits, such as you know, the Facebook group, the journals, all the communications, all that fantastic support that's probably been a lifeline to a lot of people through COVID. So again, making sure people are aware of the full package of membership benefits, promoting the membership benefits to, you know, students or recent graduates. So where we can sort of closely liaison with the schools as well. Potentially looking into sort of getting canvassing members' opinions. So how can we best serve the membership? What is it they're looking for from the organisation? Continuing where we can to improve the efficiency of processes. So again, we have more time to support the members, and then continuing to work with other members on the exec committee to help, you know, improve the website and the functionality and everything that comes with that. So lots of plans for the year to come, but mostly around sort of being there to support the members and giving the members, you know, the benefits that they're paying for as part of the association.
Brilliant, thank you, Claire. And yeah, it's fantastic to have you on board, and I know we're going to be keeping you very, very busy over the coming year. So brilliant, fantastic. Right, so we'll now move on to talk about marketing. So over to you, Andrew.
Fantastic, thank you. Good to see you all today. Well, I think this year has been very unusual, hasn't it? Particularly because, of course, of the restrictions due to the coronavirus. So externally, this has, of course, created a huge shift and demand for online services across all sectors, and many businesses, of course, have adapted. So moving forward, this is no doubt going to, you know, really influence and shift the way that people continue to find services, including hypnotherapy. Even as restrictions continue to lift, things get easier, and we work with our clients face to face again. So really, as a result of all this, the focus from marketing within the association over the past year has really been around activities designed to grow and really support our members by really giving that ongoing support and advice. And that's included many resources and projects which we've featured on the website and also through the journal as well. So just to give you an idea of some of those things which have happened over the last year, we've created advice for marketing during the restrictions, during the pandemic, as well as ideas and tips for developing members' businesses. We've also created a video production guide, and that's given advice on making the most of your members' video content. And I guess one of the biggest things we've done over the past year is we've created a proposal for search engine optimization. That's, of course, been accepted by the exec team, and also we've allowed us to work with an external company, and that's allowing us to work on strategies which will continue to raise the awareness of the association and, of course, our members online. The other thing we've done is we began some concept work on video content at the beginning of the year, and that was all around engaging content for the public domain, plus giving insights into the association and also insights to our members on how we can support them in their practice. Now, we've begun that process. We're going to continue to work on that and finalise the filming in the coming months as part of our digital strategy to continue to raise the awareness of the association. So really, I guess as due to the restrictions, it did mean that some of our plans were changed early in the year as we adapted and shifted our focus from some external promotional projects. But this has really allowed us to investigate and develop important digital strategies, really to give the association and our members much stronger visibility as we move into the second half of this year. So as we move forward now, we'll continue to focus our activity on growing and retaining membership whilst building our external profile. And this is really about positioning ourselves as a leader and in terms of raising and maintaining standards within the hypnotherapy profession. So just to run through some of our key objectives then for this year. Firstly, we want to evolve and improve the website, recognising, of course, the importance of being visible now in the digital world, particularly as behavioural shifts over the last 12 months, as I mentioned at the beginning. So our initial digital investment will deliver some real improvements, including, as Trevor mentioned, a newly refreshed modern website for the public domain and our members. And this is going to be optimized for search engines to ensure that our content can be easily found and also ranks highly in those search results too. I'm really excited that we're creating a new Find a Therapist directory. And this is going to give members a far more flexible profile with a lot more content. And it's also going to allow search engines to find their profile easily too, and also rank their profile in those search results, so that visitors and people searching can go directly to their profile. We're also looking at development of the ability for members to create articles, as I said, which will generate more engagement in their profile. And this, of course, helps everybody, improve their standing and their profile within the public domain. One of the other things we're introducing is a membership seal. And this is going to allow members to show a verified seal on their websites, and that's going to be updated on a daily basis to verify their membership status. And the other exciting thing is, as part of this project, members will now be able to, once launched, produce a certificate on demand from their profile, which is fantastic news. So some of the other objectives is, in terms of SEO, continuing to develop that. So once we've launched the digital platforms, we're going to continue to focus on keyword strategies to ensure that our content continues to evolve, but also is ranked highly within search results. And as we move forward, we'll be building our profile really to demonstrate our expertise and thought leadership in the public domain, and really generate awareness of solution-focused hypnotherapy and practitioners by developing more opinion pieces, white papers, and landing pages and blogs, etc. So that content continues to grow. And finally, we'll be continuing to explore some more PR activity and promotional campaigns with a focus on liaising with other organisations and events as we move forward, in accordance, of course, with COVID-19 restrictions. So it's a really exciting year ahead. I'm really pleased about this digital development. I think it's going to be a great benefit to our members, but really help promote the association and what we stand for. So fantastic.
Brilliant, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, lots and lots of exciting things to come, and I'm just so pleased that we are in this position now. We've had a couple of years of really looking at the foundational parts of the organisation, building on our standards and our policies and all that kind of, sort of ground root stuff. And now we're going to be able to start shifting really into the growth phase, which is very, very exciting, and is going to benefit, all of our members, and importantly, really get the solution-focused hypnotherapy message out there. And I think timing couldn't be better, really, looking at this from a digital perspective with everything that's going on. Fantastic. Right, so we're now going to talk about another very important area. So I'm going to hand over to Nicola to talk about standards.
Thank you, Helen. So this year we've seen a continuation, both in setting standards and monitoring and maintaining standards of practice in our membership. Main focus for improving and setting of standards has been looking at our online working policy and safeguarding area of the website because of the greater numbers of members who are working remotely with their clients. These areas now offer greater support for that. And also updates to the online working policy had to reflect changes to working online with clients outside of the UK as a result of Brexit. Over the year, May 2020 to April 2021, any sort of standards inquiries that were raised were successfully resolved, and there are no current ongoing or outstanding inquiries. We've continued to maintain standards this year by the implementation of the monthly audit of members for 10 months of the year, and the completion of the second year of audit from February 2020 to November 2020 saw the auditing of 50 members, and that reflects the 10% of active members minimum. Of those 50 members sampled, we have 76% who fully completed and met the requirements for successful audit. Some of these members required like a pro rata adjustment depending upon the time of their qualification. If they're more recently qualified, then we readjust the requirements accordingly. And also offered lots of additional support and extensions given to members, with a particular consideration for the difficulties facing members in the current climate. And we have a further 8% of audited members who are still in receipt of ongoing support to enable them to meet those required standards. After being contacted for audit, we also had 14% of members who cancelled their membership, but 2 of these members have now rejoined and they'll be readmitted into the auditing process. Only 1 member who was sampled was a student member and they have now upgraded. So far from being a negative experience, supporting members through this audit process has really been a fantastic opportunity for members to show their commitment to professional development, to help others to develop their commitment to high standards, and monitoring and supporting our members in this way really helps us to raise standards across the hypnotherapy profession as a whole, and really serves to demonstrate the professionalism of the solution-focused hypnotherapy practitioners that we are so proud to represent. We've also communicated the raising of standards to our members through the publication of a range of articles in Hypnotherapy Today magazine, so offering advice and highlighting the importance of supervision and CPD, and also working safely with clients outside of the UK. Between January 2020 and December 2020, 131 lapsed members were in receipt of checking for continued use of the association's logo and any advertising references. It's important to us that the public are not misled by someone claiming to be part of our professional association and therefore subject to our codes of conduct when they're not or no longer registered with us. So of those that were checked though, 50 former members, which is 38%, required communication in order to ensure that references were removed in line with advertising standards. In addition, 50% of those contacted rejoined the association as a result of communication, and a further 4 members continue to be monitored. The focus for standards in the coming year will be on continuing to implement the audit policy and increasing the numbers of members audited this year to 60, reflecting our growing membership numbers. And in addition, we'll continue to promote high standards and also relay the professionalism of our members to the public, helping to raise our profile and further instilling public confidence in our members and in solution-focused hypnotherapy as a whole.
Brilliant, thank you, Nicola, and thank you so much for the extensive amount of work that you've done to organise and sort of execute those audits. I think it's a real testament to our members that despite everything that's been going on with COVID, that people are still committed to giving the best quality practice that they can by regularly having supervision, by regularly engaging in CPD. And I think that that is exactly what the public would expect. You know, despite these challenges that have been going on, anyone that contacts an AfSFH member should still expect that that person has continued to do all those things to keep them up there at the very height of their professional conduct. And I think it's great that we've been able to support so many people, certainly allowing for the fact that things haven't been quite the same. And I think that a lot of the members have really, really appreciated that level of flexibility, whilst at the same time recognising the value that this adds, not just to them and their practice, but also to the hypnotherapy profession as a whole, to demonstrate that, you know, even with COVID going on, we still want things to be done properly. We still want our members to be that source of excellence in what they do and how they do it. Fantastic. Right, well, thank you to all of you for your contributions over the past year. I can't thank you enough for this very difficult time that we've all had. You know, as ever, there's pretty much 6 of us on the executive committee. We all work very part-time. We've all had our own businesses to deal with, families, homeschooling, teaching, training, doing all these other things whilst dealing with the pandemic. And all of your efforts are very, very much appreciated, not just by me, but by the membership as a whole. So thank you for all of your hard work. It has been a time of great adjustment. And although certainly COVID has thrown a few curveballs, to say the least, I'm very confident that we will continue in our solution-focused approach to drive the association forwards over the next 12 months, increasing the profile, not just of our own work, but of all the work that our members do. And I'm really very, very excited to see that come to fruition. So I'd just like to hand over to our chair for a few final words. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you very much, and I really have to give a huge thank you to everyone who's involved. I know that members of the membership probably don't see the stuff that you do. So much goes on behind the scenes that's just not visible to enable our members to have the resources that they need. And in true solution focused style, if a situation happens, COVID's here, we didn't panic. You got on with it. What can we do for the best for the members, for us to keep the association going? You've always, and I've always said this, you've had a real common sense approach to everything you do. When it comes to the standards, it's the carrot, not the stick, which means people are more inclusive, they're more on board with everything that we do. We know that the marketing is very exciting, Andrew. I'm very excited with all the things that you go. Getting additional SEO, getting additional help in is the right thing to do. Get some experts in to promote it. You've got so much to do. Call on those ones. That's a real solution focusing, and I thoroughly agree with the fact that there is an increase in consultant fees purely for the reasons that I've been saying. The website, that's the window to that what people see to us. We can be as good as we want to be, but if we don't have a shop window for people to see what we've got on offer, there's no point. It's exactly what you're doing, all the right things, and the members should be very proud and pleased to be a member of this association, because you are on board with any trends that are happening. You got straight in with the COVID stuff. The advice and information was invaluable, and support that was given throughout what we're still going through. But this will continue with the work that you do, because you're such a you really are such a fabulous team getting everything going. I'm just having a quick look through that stability that was there throughout this, that our members could come to the website and have advice on anything. I love the fact that, really up to date with the online working, with the safeguarding, very important, but also with the international clients, and international members that are linking into us. Not only could we be a national association, it's going international, and we know that. I love the fact that you talked to Trevor about the quotes that were handed out. These things, not only are they motivational for the members, but they can then go and use them with their clients as well. Innovation with the Microsoft 365. What's the best thing that we can use? What's the most efficient? Absolutely brilliant. I might talk to you about that as well after. But every single area. And Claire comes in straight in, liaising with what could have been a bit of a problem, that was a bit of a problem, liaising with Alison Livens in Holistic, building up that relationship. As soon as your feet touched the ground, you were onto it, weren't you, Claire? And that's absolutely brilliant. Sasha keeping an eye on the finances, tight reins there, but also finance where we need it. We are in a fantastic position, as Helen was saying just then, to go into this new phase. You have to have stable foundations to enable you to go into the big world out there and start advertising AfSFH to more members of the public. The more AfSFH are visible, the more the members are visible. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. But you need to have a fantastic committee to be able to do that. And I'm so proud that we've got you. Thank you very much. And now and on into the future, because the future sounds really exciting to me. And thank you for inviting me to be your chair. I'm very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. It's a joy to have you on board. So thank you to everybody. We're now going to just go through the formal aspects of talking about the actual votes that were received by the membership. So I'll hand it over back to you, Trevor, just to go through the voting summary.
Okay. Well, we received 54 votes using the proxy voting form. 11 people decided to vote for themselves. The rest appointed the chair of the AGM to vote for them. All of them voted to accept and approve the annual report. Everyone voted for Trevor, Sasha, Nicola, Andrew, Claire and Helen as chair, and a couple of others were a little bit wobbly in what they voted.
Indeed. I think the only person who had a negative vote was for me as editor, but that's partly because I'd already announced that I'm going to be handing that over to somebody else. But yeah, great to have everybody else in their roles. Absolutely fantastic. So we did invite people to also give us any feedback or any comments that they would like as part of the voting. I've got a selection of them just here. Of the people that commented, everybody thanked us for all of our support. Everyone appreciated the work that we do. Lots of people saying, keep up the good work, all doing a great job. It was also specifically mentioned, thank you for the guidance and the guidelines over the COVID-19 pandemic. I think a lot of people have appreciated all of the information that we've been putting out there. Lots of people very excited to hear about the SEO projects and the website development. No pressure, but yeah, it's going to be fantastic. We're all very much looking forward to that. It's going to be really good. And then we had just three sort of general questions. So somebody asked why the finances are from November 19 to October 20. Well, actually, that's because the financial year for us as a company, as an association, runs from the beginning of November to the end of October. So that's our financial year, not an HMRC financial year or a calendar year, but for the company accounts, it goes from November to the end of October. And that's why we have this then carry forward where we review the previous financial year at the next year's AGM. Somebody also asked if we would advertise more CPDs, and I would say to that actually we're not a training provider. Perhaps there was a little bit of confusion with CPHT or other organisations that actually put training out there. The AfSFH don't provide CPDs or training, but of course we will continue to update our CPD and events pages with any ongoing training that people tell us about that we can list on the website. A final comment came from somebody asking about our engagement with other organisations like the NCH or the CNHC, and would we comment further in the future about our liaisons with those other kind of organisations? And the answer to that is yes. We will be looking very closely at our liaison, not just with other hypnotherapy organisations, but with other types of organisations. So there might be charitable organisations, there might be all kinds of different organisations, and we will start, certainly once COVID is a bit more under control, we will start very proactively engaging with those other organisations to, again, really enhance our profile, but also to gain a sort of a gauge as to how hypnotherapy as a profession is being sort of promoted throughout the UK and the world, and what role we can play in that. So we will be doing more of that in the future as well. So that's the feedback we had. So everybody's saying that you're all fabulous and you're doing a great job, which of course you are. And despite all of the challenges we've had this year, I have been very, very proud to be part of this great executive team. It's not been easy. It's not been easy for any of us. Like I said, we've all been dealing with our own business impacts, family impacts, you know, all kinds of things over the past 12 months. But considering the six of us very, very part-time, like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping on top of things. And I'm truly very, very excited now that we can really start to target our investment, not just financial investment, but also investment of our time, to really make sure now we have a very targeted approach to raising our profile, not just of the organisation, but with all of our members as well. So it's going to be an unusual but very positive year ahead, and I can't wait to see how all of these things pan out. So thank you, all of you, for doing such a great job, and I look forward to continuing to work with you over the next 12 months. Thank you.
Can I just say a big thank you to you, Helen, as a CEO, for keeping it all together. Your tireless work, that you're never stopping, and it's so appreciated. It really is. Your wealth of knowledge is fantastic as well, and your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Right, I can call this meeting to a close. Thank you.